This is a Kirkendall Barrett presentation, darling.
Feed me, meow, meow, meow.
Because of this podcast, I'm a gay icon.
I'm so hot. I'm so good looking. My salad dressing is amazing.
Like the internet at large, there are things you can do on the internet besides porn, but most of it's porn.
A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello, everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about your favorite movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark Channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bowers.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
Well, so far, so good. This is our second time recording this because we tried the other day, but we had technical difficulties that became overwhelming.
Yeah.
So
And that was our Super Bowl episode, and now the Super Bowl happened. So now that's that.
Well, all our predictions were correct, weren't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
What did you predict?
We
You
did.
predicted nothing.
They don't know that?
I predicted that there'd be a picture of the guy who's with Taylor Swift yelling at I think it's the coach.
It's the coach,
in that
yeah.
picture. Yeah, he's the coach. There'd be a picture of that. I was very vague in my prediction.
I thought that the halftime show was a snooze fest.
Yeah, I agree.
I was very bored. I
Not
think
sure.
the halftime show does best when they have a diva do it.
Okay.
I don't think that's necessarily true. That we've seen ones with guys at the center of them that have been very high energy. This just felt like it just didn't have that urgency that they have some years.
Usher doesn't have anything to prove.
But neither did Rihanna.
Or
Last year,
Beyonce.
which was good.
Beyonce really has nothing to prove.
Well, Weird Al Yankovic should do the halftime show. Now, people have been pushing that idea over the years, but I really think that could be something really cool.
That actually would be cool. Like, I don't think they'd ever do it. He's not a big enough, like, all-around draw. But I do love the idea of just the fun and the visuals that you could do with something like that with a budget.
Oh, yeah.
But the artist pays for that production out of pocket.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then he really could have done better then.
Well, maybe Weird Al could raise some money or something. I don't know. I think it would be. He could do a really cool halftime show. You would have special guests, and
Like, it would be cool if he did that, but then duetted with all of the big artists whose songs he's spoofed over the years.
That actually would be good.
yeah. You'd have to like
Madonna.
You'd have to bring in some. That would be really cool.
Has he spoofed a Beyonce song?
I don't think so.
Not that I know of. Although now that I'm thinking of it, a lot of his biggest hits, the artist is no longer with us.
True.
Yeah, I guess
like
so.
Eat It.
Yeah, what was the Coolio song? The Gangster's
yeah,
Paradise, the Amish Paradise.
Amish. Yeah. Okay, can't do that.
Yeah, you'd have to like quickly do some recording. And do like a Beyonce, do like a Lady Gaga song.
Oh, he does have a Lady Gaga one. He says,
Okay.
"I perform this way."
Okay.
That's his song. Yeah.
Okay.
He's got that. Yeah, he could totally do it. I hope so. I hope people hear this and.
But yeah,
they
the
make it happen.
halftime show was very snoozy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Very snoozy.
I felt the game itself was kind of a snooze up until the very end.
Well, that's true. That was snoozy too.
Yeah.
Jason, you were right about Ice Spice. I said you were today.
Your prediction about Ice Spice?
No, I said something. Did I say it? I didn't say it on the podcast. I said it to Les in person. I said she looks like she is performing in a production of Little Orphan Annie. But I can't be the only person that's made that observation.
Well, no, because I sent you a meme, and the meme is Travis Kelce talking to Ice Spice, and he says, "I love your song. The sun will come up tomorrow."
So she looks like Annie. Interesting. Okay.
She does, actually.
She really does.
All right, I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
You know who Ice Spice is, right?
Well, just because I saw that Taylor Swift was with Ice Spice and Blake Lively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I saw the name of Ice Spice. Well, she sings. I know she was on SNL, right?
She's a rapper,
recently.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She's a rapper. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, it was just very snoozy. But you know who's never snoozy?
Well, I was going to bring something up. What you guys? I know I just interrupted, but speaking of SNL, what do you think of this? They got this guy Shane Gillis.
Oh yeah,
he was a cast member.
Not really.
And then they told him, well, no, he was never actually on the show. They hired him as a cast member like 3-4 years ago, and then they went back and they found podcasts, stuff he said on podcasts that were kind of offensive, and they said, okay, you can't be a cast member. Now he's going to host the show.
Yeah.
Now, what happened in the meantime? Like, so they hired him. They ended up not hiring him. What did happen to his career in the meantime? Like, how is he getting?
He's done better.
He's mainly a stand-up, and so his stand-up career has kind of, I don't know if exploded is the word, but it's definitely grown considerably since 2018, I guess that was, or 17 maybe.
Yeah.
So, you know, SNL has been leaning into having stand-ups, big stand-ups host the show. I don't know if he's quite at that level yet, but I don't follow stand-up as closely as I do sketch. So I don't know.
Now, okay, do you know the type of stuff he said? Was it racist? Was it sexist?
Both. It was some racist stuff, some racist stuff, some anti-gay stuff, some anti-Asian stuff.
Oh, well, fuck him then.
But so I'm curious though. He was hired the same year Bowen Yang was to be in the cast, and Bowen is gay and Asian, and I'm curious how he feels about this, knowing that this guy sort of built his career on saying these things. I don't know if the guy's sorry. I don't know if he's sort of come around on his, I don't even want to say views, but people can grow. People can say stupid shit in their past and learn from it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I know Bowen Yang because they've made some weird decisions recently on SNL. They had Dave Chappelle on stage at the end during the good nights. He had nothing to do with the show. He's just up there. They have a very divisive person. He's just up there for a few minutes. And so there was like they isolated the shot of Bowen Yang and Sarah Sherman, and they were like upset, pointing over to him.
Oh, really?
And then Bowen Yang was made it known that he wasn't happy that Nikki Haley was on the show.
Yeah, I felt that way too. Like, and SNL's been a bit of an apologist for politicians to an extent, and that they've had people that maybe don't align with the political views of everyone in the cast, but the flip side of it is, like, does that really change voters' minds? Like, really?
Now, I got to be honest with you. The last time I watched a full episode of Saturday Night Live was when Eddie Murphy was on it.
Oh, really?
The first time.
And that was...
Okay.
He's only hosted it once since he left.
No, not the host. He was a cast member.
No, he's saying like in the 80s.
Oh, you've never seen an entire episode since the 80s?
I am never at home on a Saturday night. Seriously.
There were VCRs, DVRs, and now you can just watch it on streaming. You've never come across a full episode?
No, I've seen, like, if someone's talking about one of the bits, I'll go and watch that. But I have not seen a whole episode of Saturday Night Live since I was in middle school.
That is wild to me.
Brooks Wheelan era.
But I've had a social life since I've been in middle school. I was always on Saturday.
Yeah, not like me. I'm home watching it like a big nerd.
I mean, you know I'm social. I always run into you when I'm out, so I still find time to watch it.
Yeah, the only time I watch, like, if I hear a bit is funny, I'll watch the bit. But that's it. So there's a bar, Kurt, in LA called Revolver. And so back in the day, like back in the 90s, Revolver would like take the funny skit of the week and show it. So I would see it at Revolver.
Okay. Like the highlight.
It's like a Revolver's like it's a video bar. Like they show.
Mm-hmm. It's also where the Wrong Prince Charming works.
Yes, it's where we see him.
Okay. They missed the Brooks Wheelan years. You missed my friend Bobby Moynihan, who was on the show for many years.
He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, this surprise. Like, I know that you're not as into comedy in the way that Kurt and I are, but it surprises me from a pop culture standpoint. This seems like a big blind spot for you.
One of the things I do is I'm a comedian.
Did you guys want? Did you guys? Did you guys want to be on SNL at some point?
I did, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You did? Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
No, I always wanted to be like Joan Rivers or like, like I always wanted my own comedy special.
Okay.
But I never wanted to share the stage with other people. And things haven't changed much.
Well, I think I could speak for all of us that we enjoy being on the stage with you, Les, on the show.
I tried improv. Like, I tried going to improv classes.
Oh, you didn't look
going to the Groundlings.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work for me.
Okay.
So,
That's fair. People like doing stand-up sometimes, just doing stand-up or storytelling.
Yeah, I like doing stand-up.
I did. I had a lot of success doing improv and sketch. I enjoyed that. I probably
a lot of
stand-up
do.
Because I tried doing stand-up for like a year or so, but then when I started doing improv, I was like, oh, this is like my groove here.
I loved improv because you never had to worry about learning lines. Right. You just went out there. Like you had to learn about being really present and being really focused on everything else happening in the moment on stage. But, scripted stuff, it was always a struggle to just even the simplest thing of having to learn lines. I hated that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I hear ya. It's still a pain in the ass. Imagine then now being in your 50s and having to remember that shit.
Well,
it's not fun.
That's where I'm at. I gotta remember a whole one-person show. These people these murder mystery shows I do now. They're impressed that I learn my lines because they've got like cheat sheets and stuff like that, and I actually like give myself an ulcer learning my lines.
But Kurt, but Kurt, in defense of you, you're from a theater background, so you're used to learning them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, since you've had like a long stage career.
But he's doing theater and the other people in this production aren't learning their lines, is what he's saying.
Some people aren't, and they've been doing the shows for a while, but they'll like be like a detective and they'll have like a note. He has a notebook as a detective, but it's got all the whole script in it. But
that's funny.
Yeah. Now I had to do that once. I had to like sneak because I only had time. I just didn't have time to learn the whole show, so I learned like half of it. And then I had to kind of defer to this. Let me check my book here.
How dare you, Kurt Fitzpatrick?
I had to.
How dare you?
I do my best.
I'm just giving you shit.
I know. So do you want to hear your Blac Chyna news, or do you want to discuss?
Yes.
Let's ask the question.
He did, and I interrupted and started.
Well, I think he needs to ask it again, Les.
Well, Kurt, do you have any Blac Chyna news?
Doing a piece of China.
China.
I'm talking China.
The Blac Chyna report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Not Blac Chyna's been keeping a low profile. Not really any recent news, but I did find this article from finbold.com. Looks like it just came out today.
Okay.
This is apparently a finance article. This involves Blac Chyna. It says these 3 OnlyFans stars made the most money so far in 2024. So, of course, one of them Well, first we can get a little bit OnlyFans. It's conceived by British tech entrepreneur and investor Timothy Stokely. Offers a distinctive platform where content creators can restrict access to their creations behind paywalls. OnlyFans became viral during the pandemic with 210 million users globally and 500,000 new daily sign-ins. It hosts 2.1 million content creators. Top earners make $100,000 monthly. OnlyFans retains 20% of subscription sales, paying creators over $2 billion since its creation. Sounds like we're doing a commercial for OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. But one of the three people is Blac Chyna. I thought we heard she left OnlyFans, but this I thought
she did. They made a big deal out of it.
Yeah,
and in the show that we started to record that didn't make it, she was because she's not on OnlyFans, she's on some sort of like religious version of it now.
Yeah, right. that was another article. I think So no, it does say it. She says because she shared 155 posts on her OnlyFans page, garnering approximately 16,000 likes, substantial following of 16.1 million on Instagram. She has direct her audience towards exclusive content on her OnlyFans page, accessible through a monthly subscription of $19.99. Consequently, her earnings on OnlyFans have propelled her to the forefront of top earners on the platform, even after she left in December 2023. So she's still one of the top earners on OnlyFans.
Oh, because she's not posting new content, but people are still subscribed.
Yeah. She's still she generates a monthly earning of $20 million through her activities in OnlyFans, according to this article.
It's like she's syndicated.
We've doubted that. Now, who do you think the other two? The one name I don't recognize, the other one I do. Who do you think? I
remember someone of note had joined around the same time she did, but I don't remember who it was. It was like a model or something like that.
I'm gonna say one of the Real Housewives, Larsa Pippen, who was married to Scottie Pippen, is a high earner on OnlyFans because she shows pictures of her feet.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino would enjoy that. But no, there's two folks here. Bella Thorne? We've heard Bella Thorne.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know who that is.
She's an actress, model, writer, singer.
That was who
she joined in August 2019. Her debut on the platform was marked by posting a video montage on her Instagram account. She gained widespread attention, becoming the first content creator and influencer on OnlyFans to generate $1 million in revenue just within 24 hours of joining the platform. Hey, that's not bad. She gets a monthly revenue of $11 million. However, her account subscription has recently been transitioned to a no-cost model. Wonder why she did that.
So she's giving it for free now.
And then there's Cardi B. She's the other one.
Oh.
She joined the platform. It was her decision was motivated by a desire to dispel rumors, offer exclusive behind-the-scenes footage, and provide glimpses of her life. Now, how much does she make? A monthly earning of totaling $9.43 million. She's got a monthly subscription of only $4.99.
I want to know.
Not too bad.
I'm genuinely curious. These ones that are making millions per month. That the numbers don't add up.
Yeah, we went through this before where it didn't make any sense.
I don't understand it.
Because Cardi B's making $9.43 million and she's only charging $4.99. I mean, how many people? I guess we could do some math. Do we have a math theme song?
Like, for instance, Blac Chyna, if she is making $11 million per month. That and if her subscriptions say $9.99, that would mean that she has over 1 million subscribers on OnlyFans. And they said that she
makes 20.
She makes 20 million.
Yeah, 20.
So then she's there. Then she's got say 2 million subscribers on OnlyFans, but she doesn't.
It's how many does she have? Does it say? She has 16,000 likes. It says, but on her, it doesn't say how many.
So let's say she has 1 million followers, 16,000 likes, and you've got 1 million followers. That doesn't correlate.
Yeah, I don't. It's kind of strange. I don't know. Okay.
And then if they really are making that kind of money, why does Bella Thorne say, "Yeah, I don't need to make 11 million a month. I'll just make it free now"?
She's made enough.
She's giving back.
She says, I've had enough.
Yeah.
She's giving back to the people.
Having money has its own problems. She knows.
More money, more problems.
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
well, good for Blac Chyna, though. I mean, she's got to make a living. She has kids. Girls got to eat.
Yeah.
She's got to get herself out in the news again.
Right.
Okay. But there we go. That's our Blac Chyna update.
Okay.
Well, you know, like we said, Angela, if you ever want to come on and talk about it, you're more than welcome. The door is always open.
Yes.
Yeah, but not next week because Jason DeBray will probably be on the show. So you got to come the week after.
Well, I think Jason DeBray and Blac Chyna would get along. They'd get along.
I think they would.
Yeah.
Did he listen? He might be monitoring the show right now. So.
Well, hi, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Did Jason watch this week's movie?
No, he wants to do a Hallmark movie for some reason.
Oh.
Jason DeBray, for our audience at home, he's been on the show before, and he hosts the Shelf Shedding movie podcast. So I'm on that. I've been on that the last couple of years doing the Oscar episodes. So that's how we know him.
Yeah.
Now I got to tell you, this movie shocked me because I thought I was going to hate it, and I actually really liked it.
I thought it was really good.
The woman with the red lipstick.
Yeah, from Lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Sometimes I think it must be a thing with Philo, which is the like streaming service I have that has Lifetime. Mm-hmm. The title cards they use, like when you're recording a show, they use this like weird filter on it, and the one the like key art for this movie just looked really bad. And so I was really concerned the movie was going to match. And no, it was great. No, not the credits. You know, like when you're like in a streaming app and they'll have like, you know, the image of like the woman with the red lipstick, and it's like, you know, just like the marketing materials, but it's on the screen through the app. And whatever they do on Philo, their screen grabs or their marketing materials just look like shit.
Okay. Well, it was so funny because looking at the movie, it was teetering on this is either going to be really bad or really good.
Okay.
I was so on board the minute I saw the return of the Black Hoodie.
Yes, it's back.
Because we've had a few Lifetime movies where they were moving away from that, including the Wrong movie that we watched with Meredith. I was very upset about that.
That was because of us, right? Didn't we hear that they were influenced by our podcast? They decided to stop doing it?
Well, our friend Samantha.
Yeah.
And not only did they have a black hoodie, they kind of updated it. It was a black hoodie with a mask.
Yeah. I think I have a hoodie on again. I'm wearing
it. It was a black hoodie with like a black face covering. Mm-hmm. And there were like, you know how sometimes there's like a face covering and it has eye holes? Yeah. This one didn't even have eye holes.
So it was probably like that material they use in those union suits you see around Halloween where it like covers the entire body, but you can kind of see through the fabric. It's like that.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Oh.
It's like a Spider-Man hood or whatever we call it.
Yeah.
Well, don't drive in those. That sounds like you'd have some,
this person was not driving. They were running, but they weren't driving. So we see and we got a cold open.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Because we see this woman and she's getting strangled. And then she's in a room and she's like, and then there was like a heartbeat sound too, right?
Yeah, I think it was to imply that, maybe life was leaving her body.
Yeah.
And we don't know for sure in this moment. But the woman had like really bright.
Like you could tell it was like a bare room.
Yeah. The woman had this like crazy scarf on, this really like loud pattern scarf, and super bright red lipstick that did not go with the scarf.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it was like, then the heart went like dun 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 dun, and then it slowed down. And then it was
I thought they're going to start playing the harder rock and roll by Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
Starts with that heartbeat. Bum, 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 bum.
So then we see a woman. She's talking to her boyfriend while she's brushing her teeth.
Her shirtless boyfriend.
Yes.
Right out of the gate, Lifetime. Kudos.
Yep.
Probably not necessary. What was the reason for that?
Because they knew we liked
keep people watching the movie because there's a hot guy in it.
Yeah.
Well, this was in Chicago. It's cold there.
Yeah. Yeah, and so he's doing the Lord's work by taking that shirt off anyway.
So, they're talking about going to dinner like after work.
I wrote he's hairless.
Yeah, and
he was on the last seasons of Glee.
He was?
He played a gay football player in later seasons on Glee. I looked that up after we started to record the other day.
Oh, he was cute.
Yeah.
This was waxing.
So we knew their relationship was in trouble, and the way that we knew the relationship was in trouble was they were talking about going out to dinner after work, and he looks at her and he's like, "You're gonna wear that?"
Yeah.
And then so normally that is, so, I'm married, and when my husband says something like that, I know I should change.
Yeah. Like,
even if he doesn't say like, "Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with it." If he asks, that means, and especially, so he's British, so he's ultra polite, so he would never say, but it's like that question means, oh, I better like change.
Right.
But it's kind of like if someone offers you a mint, you should take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's rude. I mean, I guess you got to do it.
It's like usually in that scenario, but not always. Usually in that scenario, if it's your significant other questioning, like if you're wearing it, they're not gaslighting you. They just are like, okay, you got to put a little effort in for where we're going.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so, but no, she was like, "No, I look fine with what I have on." And so she's then in the office, and then her boss Odette comes in, and she's like, "Get out of my office." But then it turned out that she was just kidding. Like, they made it look like she was going to be a bitch, but then she was just kidding.
Yeah, she basically, like, "You've been here too long, go home today."
Right. And I loved Odette.
I did too. If this movie had a bigger budget, she would have been played by Megan Mullally.
Oh, totally.
I thought she was bossy. She reminded me of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She kind of had
Odette?
Yeah, she kind of had that look to her.
She's totally Megan. Like, have you ever seen Megan Mullally when she's not playing Karen Walker, like her normal voice? She even sounded like Megan.
And for the listeners, she was kind of like, I would say, like the sexy librarian.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So then,
she was clearly like, I'm the boss, but also I can still have fun and be your friend.
Right, exactly. I'm the boss, but I can hang.
That's a slippery slope. I don't know about that.
Actually, you know what? She was the type. I'm the boss, and I can be a bitch, but as long as you get your work done, I'm cool with you.
Yeah,
like that type.
All right.
Like as long as you're getting your work done and doing what you need to be doing, I'm totally down, and I won't like enforce any weird rules or anything like that, as long as you do your work. So then we see Lucy's trying to get a hold of her boyfriend, and he's not answering his phone. That he shows up, they end up going to the restaurant, and the boyfriend was 100% right, and Lucy should have worn something else. Yeah, because it was a very fancy restaurant, and they were celebrating something, right?
I don't think
I don't
specifically, no. Or something to do with his work, because he's been working really hard. They haven't seen each other in a while, kind of thing. So I think it was just like, hey, let's have a nice night together.
Yeah. And so they're having dinner. You could tell they're having problems. And then while they're at dinner, the boyfriend gets like a shady text. And they finish dinner, and the boyfriend's like, she's like, oh, hey, come back to my place. And the boyfriend's like, nope, I got to go back to work. But
what did the text say? Like, do you know? Do you remember? Because I didn't write that in my notes because I didn't take it down as a piece of important information, but it probably is relevant until later.
Yeah, I didn't write it down what it said. Oh, no, you know what? I don't think they told us.
Oh, okay. Because you said shady text. I didn't know what made it shady.
Yeah. And then because it was late at night, and she's like, well, we're going back to my place. And he's like, no, I got to go back to work. And that was after getting the text.
Yeah, he works weird hours.
And then Lucy asks him, well, is everything okay with us? And then he is like, well, now that you're asking, I think that we need to spice up our relationship. We've gotten very boring. It's all very routine. And she's like, well, maybe I can come on one of your maybe I could come on one of your trips. And he's like, no. And then he travels a lot. And he's like, this is what we could do to spice things up. He's like, let's role play. And so she's like, okay, sure. I'll do whatever I need to do to spice up our relationship.
Okay. Nice.
And so he gives her instructions. He's like, we're going to do this, that, and he kind of lays it out. And then she goes home. And so the next day, Lucy is leaving for work, and there was a box on her doorstep. And in the box was an outfit and a note.
What's that?
What is that banging, Ness?
It's the maintenance person.
Oh. This is like when they were moving those chairs that time when you were in that coffee shop.
No,
he stopped.
It's the maintenance person who waited until 6 o'clock in the evening to do maintenance.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
We've been here all day.
People do work odd hours.
Yeah, he's working Roy's hours.
Right. So in the box, the note said, okay, so the note said, by night, you are a very bad girl, and your name is Maggie.
I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more.
Right.
Now there's a wig and there's a scarf, and he's telling her where to go.
And that scarf looked a lot like the scarf that we saw in that girl in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
And the lipstick was like bright red, like in the beginning of the movie.
So then later,
tell Roy to knock it off.
Left for the banging.
I can't believe this.
There's a Sex and the City episode where like the woman comes and she goes, "Stop that banging." It was like a double entendre.
So they're at work, and Odette comes in and is like, "Listen, just so you know, the boss is gonna." Oh, that's right. Oh, she was joking because she's like,
one of the extras looked like OJ.
You know, the boss is gonna ask for your story at the next pitch meeting, but Odette was the boss.
Hold on, Les. Wait. One of the extras looked like OJ, so I wrote OJ works there. Like
what?
OJ was like behind her in the next cubicle.
Well, maybe he's the murderer in this movie. We don't even know it.
And then, Kurt, you debunked a rumor because I heard a rumor that OJ was in hospice.
Yeah, but then I looked that up, and he's saying, whenever you see a video of OJ, he's like the happiest person who ever lived. He's like, hospice? Me?
How?
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
We started talking about that after we couldn't record the other day. How did that even come up? Like, why did OJ's name come up the other day?
I listened to a 1-hour interview on Vlad TV, and I think Vlad is a good interviewer. Okay. I stand by that with Kato Kalin.
That's
1
right,
hour
okay.
with Kato Kalin because I don't have I have a gazillion things to do, and I'm sitting and listening to with Kato Kalin.
Kurt revealed to us that the way it helps him fall asleep to listen to podcasts with subjects he doesn't find that interesting.
Right. Well, I did.
Isn't that, or am I paraphrasing that incorrectly?
No, for me to go to sleep, I have to listen to interviews with people who became accidentally famous through murder trials. So it's him. It's the woman from years ago during the Joan Collins one where she passed out. And they had to give her flowers to wake her up. Yeah, Passion Flower. I had an interview with her. That puts me to sleep.
Remember when Passion Flower came out with a hit it wasn't a hit single, but she came out with a single during that time?
I don't know who that is.
Not necessarily murder trials, but just,
No, that wasn't a murder trial. That was Joan Collins' divorce trial, and Joan Collins married this younger man, and he was having an affair with this woman named Passion Flower.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so then Passion Flower fainted on the stand, and then she came out with a song, and the song was "My name is Passion Flower with a capital P. Why don't let me be just me?"
I am looking this up after this podcast.
It was the 80s.
What a reference. Yes. So I do try to listen to interviews with people, like whatever pops up on YouTube, and I will play it. So when I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, it get me back to sleep. So it happened to be Kato Kalin, but then I got to 20 minutes and maybe I fell asleep, and the next day I listened to the rest of it. I thought it was interesting.
Okay. So then, are you dreaming? So then, when you fall asleep, the show's going on, and so you're getting subliminal messages from Kato Kalin?
Sometimes I will have a dream, and Kato Kalin will be in it, or so. Whoever I'm listening to will end up like in the dream. Yeah.
Tell us about the dream with you and Kato Kalin. What did you do in your dream?
We discussed probably hairstyles and.
So in your dream, you're just having a conversation? That's it?
Yeah, I'm not like pogo sticking or anything. I don't know. We're not doing anything really physical. Because it's talking. I'm listening to talking, so we just interact. No, I don't remember what he did in the dream, but I'm just saying that he seemed like a nice guy, in this interview. So.
Pogo sticking sounds like a sex act. We're pogo sticking.
Who does? Who does?
Yeah, totally does.
What? Who does?
No, I said it sounds like the name of a sex act. Pogo sticking.
Pogo sticking.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not pogo sticking or anything.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Wow.
Oh, okay. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. Get a pogo stick night at the Eagle.
Yeah. No, I'm not pogo sticking with Kato Kalin.
You know who could have spiced up the relationship with some pogo sticking? Lucy and Roy.
Yes.
Let's get back to it.
Yes. So Lucy, so Lucy asks Odette. Lucy's like, so Odette, I know you're my boss, and she said like, so she's like, I know you're my boss, but I have like this personal question to ask. And Odette was not only the boss. Odette was like a Lifetime type. She was like the sexy, sassy, sexy friend as well.
Yeah, she's the friend that would like encourage you to like make the less good choice.
Yeah, so she was like Samantha from Sex and the City, basically. Yeah. And so.
But wait, can we back up for like or half a step here? So after she got the box, yeah, no, after Lucy gets his box in her purse, she brought the wig and the lipstick in her purse to work. Why? Why did she
show her boss?
I don't know. It just seems weird that I'm like, I want to carry this weird wig around that I'm a little weirded out by.
I probably want to play around with it at her desk, like when she's bored or something.
Yeah, try it on.
Can you imagine if you worked in an office and one of your coworkers is like, I'm just trying on wigs today. Give me a minute.
No.
No. Oh, I have seen some weird things.
Oh, so she tells Odette, she's like, so listen, Odette, Roy wants me to role play. And he wants me to wear this outfit and say my name is Maggie. And then Odette was like, oh, she's like, well, is his mom named Maggie? And she's like, no. She's like, is his sister named Maggie? And she's like, no. She's like, oh, well, then it's not weird then. Go for it.
And I thought those were very fair questions to ask in that moment.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah,
I liked that Odette had a point of view about Roy. Like Odette, like she didn't hate him, but she didn't really like him either.
Right. Because I'm sure that Lucy was the type that she'd come to work and be like, all the time.
Yeah.
So Lucy then puts on the outfit and she puts on the wig and the outfit, and she looked a lot like my friend Frankie. And you know Frankie, Kurt. You've met Frankie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In Indy.
Okay.
More importantly, though, she looked a lot like the woman from the beginning in the movie that was getting strangled.
Yes, who looked like our friend Frankie.
Yes.
Okay.
And then part of the outfit too was like the scarf that Jason mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know who Frankie is. I just remembered. Yes.
Yeah, you know Frank. You've met Frankie.
Yeah,
you know Frankie.
I do. Yes. She lives in LA, I think.
I think she moved back.
Oh, okay.
So she puts on the scarf and she puts on the outfit. And she goes to the bar and she sits at the bar. And then Roy comes up and he starts hitting on her. And he's like, hey, my name is Jimmy.
He's wearing a Letterman's jacket, too. This is
I saw that. Yeah. Looks in high school.
Looked very similar to his Letterman's jacket on Glee, by the way. Same color and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny. And so they start hitting on each other and it looks like it's going well.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, he's like, he looks at her lipstick and he's like, wipe that off. It's not working. The color's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of looks like Moose from the Archies.
Oh, but yeah.
He does, kind of.
A little bit.
He does. And so then, he orders her drink. And it works because they go back to his place and they totally have sex.
Just lovemaking.
And she asks, should I take the wig off? And he tells her to keep it on.
Keep it on. So,
have either of you ever had relations with someone that was wearing a wig, like while they were wearing the wig?
No.
Have you?
No. Just in that moment, I was like, oh, like it would come off. Like it'd be like moving around.
Yeah. Unless she bobby pinned it to her hair.
I guess.
Because you can bobby pin the wig.
But you'd still kind of feel it moving around a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure. Or maybe she was wearing, unless she's like, if you wore like a wig cap and pinned it,
yeah,
it would still move around, but it wouldn't come off. So then the next day, on the news, there's news about this missing woman, and her name is Maggie. And her name is Maggie. Her real name is Magnolia Maine. And
that we're talking about the woman from the beginning in the movie.
Yes.
That Lucy had dressed up and looked a lot like.
Right. So her name was Magnolia Maines. She was missing. And so did she call Roy? Who did she call? She called someone and asked if he knew who Magnolia Maines was.
She called Roy. Okay, well, so Magnolia Maines in the universe of this movie is the daughter of this socialite, or she's the socialite. She's the daughter of this woman that's the longtime campaign manager of this senator.
Right.
Richard something. So she's like kind of, famous for being famous a little bit. And Lucy does the math and figures out that, like, Magnolia went to the same college as Roy and calls Roy to ask if he knows her.
That's why.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, no, I don't know her. And she was, and so then he gets her off of the phone. Like he kind of hurries her off of the phone. And then she's in like her team meeting for the week.
Yeah.
And so, they're going around the room, they're asking the reporters what stories they want to do. And she's like, you know what? Well, I'd like to do a story on Magnolia Mains. And then Odette was kind of like, well, I'm not sure because I don't know if you have enough to go on. But then Lucy talks Odette into letting her do the story. And so then
Odette also, I think, points out to Lucy, like one-on-one after the meeting that like Magnolia, they called her Maggie for short, and Roy asked you to dress up as a Maggie the other night.
Right, exactly. So Odette's kind of the smart friend too.
Yeah.
Where Odette's like, okay, that's kind of weird. So then Lucy starts investigating, and then at one point she is talking to her friend who is a detective. And of course...
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, of course, he's like a lifetime detective, so he doesn't want to do any work.
Yeah, he doesn't want to work.
I disagree. I actually feel this is the first time we've ever seen a detective in a Lifetime movie that was actually helpful, and his reasoning in this moment for not wanting to help out Lucy made sense, and he came around fast.
Because, yeah, he wasn't mean.
No.
But he was like, I'm eating my sandwich.
He actually believes her. He actually thinks she's smart. He doesn't tell her to do anything dumb like, go home and take a nap there. Like,
well, he knows her because she helped out with Career Day. Or did he do? Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
she helped his daughter with a school project.
Yeah. She came in and like gave a speech or something.
Yeah.
So then she goes home.
By the way, his name, did you notice his name, guys? It was a nod. It was Webb. Like Detective Webb, like Dragnet, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Remember Dragnet? Dun, 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 dun.
TV history.
The names have been changed to protect the innocent. Dun, 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 dun.
No, I remember the movie Dragnet.
See, I'm old enough to remember when Dragnet came on rerun.
It was airing in reruns when I was really little. I remember that, but I never watched it.
So Lucy goes home, and this I gotta give. Okay, so I gotta applaud Lucy now, but then I've gotta like rag on her later for something.
Okay.
But here she gets the applause because she comes home, she hears rattling in her kitchen, and Lucy's not messing around. She has her mace. She sprays Roy in the face, and he's like, "Oh my God, you've got mace!" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I've got mace all over my house. I live alone."
She didn't actually mace him. She almost maced him.
No.
She uses the mace later in the movie, though, for real.
Now, it was a big...
I think in the moment of filming that scene, they forgot that they needed that prop, and they're like, find the smallest aerosol bottle that you can, and it was still, like, way too big. Because it had, like, a label on it and shit. Like, it didn't look like mace. It just looked like a spray bottle.
Because it was huge.
It was so big.
Like, oh, I carry mace in my purse.
It was like a can of Aquanet. It was gigantic.
Yeah.
She may have to mace a lot of people one evening. I don't know.
I bet the family size.
Right. Seriously. That was like...
Yeah, the price by ounce was probably, pretty reasonable. You had a big, giant thing of mace.
Right.
Yeah.
So
he had his mindfulness app on, so that's why he couldn't hear. And he's wearing like an apron. I never. Yeah. Where's apron?
So then
she should mace him for that.
So then Lucy's working. She's telling Roy about the story, and she's telling Roy about Magnolia, and he knew her. Did he know her? because someone was describing her like because they said she was never happy. She was beautiful, but she was never happy.
That was Lucy. Lucy just from looking all the pics from her research, she's like, she's got to have like joy in her life outside of these photos on social media, essentially.
Right.
And Lucy notices a building in one of the pics that looks like it's from Durham University, which is where Roy went, and he was there at the same time as Magnolia.
Right. So then Lucy goes to the mirror and she sees Abby and Maggie, and Maggie's going, "Help me, help me."
Yeah, it's like she appears in the mirror. It's obviously a nightmare in the moment.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And then somebody chokes her.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
See, I don't have dreams like this. That's why it's better to just have conversations in your dreams.
Yeah, and we get our obligatory lifetime shower, but it was Lucy taking a shower.
Should have been Roy.
Okay.
Oh, so then we see a black hoodie looking at Lucy's house.
Yeah. I actually thought for a second that this guy that was running for office was maybe Lucy's dad, because we heard mention of Lucy's mom quite a bit, and there was never a mention of the dad.
Right.
Who was running for office?
The Magnolia's mom's client. I don't think he's ever seen, but his son is the other guy from later in the movie.
Oh,
right.
Okay. We'll get to that then.
Yeah.
So then Lucy's having second thoughts about doing the story. And she was going to tell Odette that she was going to drop the story, but then Odette's like, well, actually some evidence has come up. And, we could even break this before the evening news. So good job.
Whoever wrote this movie has clearly been to therapy, and I say that in a respectful way, because there's a lot of terminology and things that Lucy says or points out that is clearly somebody that's been through therapy. She uses the phrase, "I've been over-identifying with this Magnolia stuff." You see Roy with his mindfulness app. There's something else that she says later, too. This is the first Lifetime movie where somebody's basically called out the fact that they're being gaslit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Odette kind of was like, oh, you know what? You're a terrible liar because I know you're going to change your story to quit. But, we're actually doing something. And then the detective taught us a term that I've never heard of before. Life-giving items.
Yes.
Yeah, you can bring things if you're abducted.
Yeah.
I never heard of such a thing.
So he said that they looked through her house and there were no life-giving items missing. And so he said life-giving items are if you're getting abducted or something, sometimes the person who's kidnapping you, if you're on medication or something, they'll let you bring your medication.
Yeah, the reason being that they might be abducting you, but they do plan to keep you alive. So they might want to use you for something.
That's nice of them.
And then
I did think it was weird that wedding bands were considered a life-giving item, though, because he mentioned, he said medicine and something and wedding bands. I'm like,
yeah,
even though that's important to somebody emotionally, I'd imagine it's a ring.
Well, and I would think in ransom negotiations, they'd be like, I got your wife.
Yeah, you said they cut her finger off. Okay.
Right, exactly. Here's
okay.
a finger with a ring on it.
Okay.
Here's her ear with her diamond earrings on it. Oh,
and then what I would bring.
So then Lucy asked the detective, okay, so did she take her lipstick? And he's like, well, that wouldn't be considered a life-giving item.
It could be. Well, I guess not.
Yeah. Well, I think that from the detective's point of view, it wouldn't be in this scenario.
Yeah. Because you don't need lipstick to live.
Yeah.
Well, some people I know do. Oh, so then Lucy sees this picture and she goes online and she starts Googling and she finds this mural. It's like a mural. And it was, and Maggie had taken a selfie and the mural was on this bridge and Maggie had taken a selfie and the bridge was in her selfie.
I didn't quite get what she was doing by going through these photos and these locations throughout Chicago. And then it dawned on me later in the movie that it was probably to sort of pinpoint where Maggie lived, maybe?
Yeah. So then Lucy is being followed by, she's walking and she's being followed by a black hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's walking fast. The hoodie's following her, and then she bumps into a doorman. And I wrote here, the doorman was doing some park ranger acting.
He looked like he was doing a bad Trump impression. There was something about like the way he was moving his hand and sort of his like slightly hunched over built like demeanor. It had real Trump vibes, and he had a very similar cadence to the way he spoke too.
Yeah,
he was British, right?
Maybe
no.
There was like vaguely an accent too, which it's sort of like, you know, the sort of dinner theater people that they don't really do a lot of acting, but when they get a chance to make a big swing, they're taking it.
Yeah. Oh, he took it. He was doing like a Madonna British accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, "This is my scene. I've waited 60 years, and I'm going for it."
I think the doorman may need to teach, become an adjunct professor at the Park Ranger School of Acting.
Yes.
Just an adjunct, not even full time.
No,
Yeah.
we can't afford that.
No.
Okay, he's an adjunct.
We
Not
can't
getting any
afford
benefits.
tenure here.
They're tenure for you. Wow. This guy really got dragged through the mud.
Yeah. So then the doorman is like, you know, giving her shit, and this guy walks up, and the guy like pretends like he knows her,
He hugs her.
and gets her in to the building. And I wrote, the guy actually looked kind of like her boyfriend.
A little bit.
And so it turns out that he and Maggie were like old friends, like old, like teenage childhood friends. Like they'd grown up together, basically.
Well, we find out that he's the son of that senator.
Yeah. And so they knew each other for years. They grew up together. They dated. It didn't work out, but they remained like.
She came up with a full benefits package. She said, "Did you have the full benefits package?"
Yeah.
And I was like, mm-hmm.
He says, "No,
They sure did."
cooled." He said it cooled off last year.
Yep.
It was interesting to me that Lucy's sell to this guy, like when she first meets him and he realizes she's a reporter, he doesn't want to speak to her at first. And she basically gives out a sob story saying like, hey, I want to convince people that Magnolia isn't the vapid party girl she's portrayed as in the press. Like, wouldn't your cell be like, I think I can help find her. Maybe she's still alive.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Like, I think I know where your friend is.
Yeah.
So then.
Oh, she said that Magnolia would call her mother every Sunday.
Yes. And that's how Magnolia's mother also kind of suspected something was up.
Yeah.
Because she didn't get a phone call. And then she talks about how Maggie and her mother didn't have the best of relationships.
Like, yeah, they're close now, but there was a big chunk of time where they weren't speaking.
Yeah.
Oh, also, he said that when he and Maggie broke up, he cooled things off because she was basically just getting a little clingy. It was getting to be a bit much.
Yeah. So then we also find out the next day that Maggie gets a call. We find out Maggie had a stalker. And then Lucy comes home, and there's a note on Lucy's wall in lipstick that says, "Back off." So then the detective comes over to Lucy's house. She gives him a tube of lipstick. She says that her house is like, you need a code to get in the house. Her boyfriend was the only one who knew the code. And
yeah, it's pretty wild that she straight up tells the detective that she thinks her boyfriend might be the suspect.
Yeah. Because she's like, she's like, he's the only one that knew the code. They went to school at the same time, but he's saying that he doesn't know her. I think we might be onto something.
Did she tell him about the wig and scarf? And yeah, I guess she did. She had to explain, point out that not only was it the same red lipstick on her wall, but she had that in her house, and whoever went in the house and got that lipstick had to know the very weirdly specific spot where it was.
Yeah, she did tell him that.
Yeah.
So and then the cop is like, so then she's like, well, okay, so can you go and pick him up and take him in, but don't tell him that it was me that told you. And the cop is like, oh, I'll be discreet. And then the next day, the boyfriend's getting out of jail, and he's like, oh, so you called the cops on me, huh? And
they went to his work.
They came to his work. But the funny thing is, because he was like, I was at work. But the funny thing is she was shocked when he broke up with her.
Yeah.
She's like,
wait a minute.
Even if she was wrong about that, yeah. If I'm Roy, I'm like, I don't know if I can ever get past the fact that she turned me into the police for a murder I didn't commit.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And the cops showed up at my work.
Yeah.
She could have told him. She could have told him she's just role playing.
Yeah.
That would have been a good excuse.
Yeah. So
and he also in this moment, she had just woken up. He basically woke her by honking his horn. She runs outside, and he basically tells her she looks like shit.
Yep.
He's mad.
Well, there's no reason for him to be nice now.
Yeah, no more filter.
You got me. So so then she goes to Odette. Odette's when you think about it, Odette's a really nice boss.
Oh, yeah.
Because she runs to Odette and tells Odette her problems. And she's like, should I call him? And Odette's like, no, don't call him. And Odette, it's like, you needed to do what you had to do.
Right.
And then, but then Odette tells her, okay, but I am taking you off of this story because now it's starting to become too dangerous.
I loved Odette in the scene, too, because she says Roy sucks, literally says those words. And then she starts building up Lucy and says that, all Roy did is put down your careers and your passions and things that, were important to you.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's like, no, don't go begging. Don't go begging for his forgiveness. You don't need him. And then, so Odette's going to take her off the case. She talks Odette into not taking her off. And then then Lucy decides that she wants to flesh out the stalker. And so Odette's like, okay, so I'll help you. And then Lucy puts on the sexy outfit that makes her look like Maggie, and she goes to Maggie belonged to this snooty private club.
No, she didn't belong there. Other people did, but Lucy lies about forgetting her membership card, so she flirts and they let her in.
She shook the boobies a little bit, and the guy was like mesmerized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And was like, okay, sure.
I did like the first guy she's talking to inside. He amused me. She's sitting there, this like D-bag is talking her up about crypto.
Oh, that's right. That's right. and he was like shit talking everybody.
Yeah. So she's like prying him for gossip. He claims that Maggie wanted to date him.
Right. Exactly. And he was like, everybody here is like 10 seconds away from bankruptcy. And so she's there, and then she sees Roy there. And he's like, well, A, why are you here? And B, why are you dressing like Maggie? He's like, the reason why I'm here is because remember when I was running off to work late at night? This place was my client, and so I was coming to check on things. And then he's like, and you're pretty demented to be dressing like her. And he makes her feel like shit. But then the guy who had been helping Maggie out, the guy who'd been helping Lucy out, the guy who was Maggie's friend, was like, okay, you know what? I can help you. I can set up a meeting with her mom.
Well, I basically told her when the mom was going to show up at the building so she could, quote unquote, bump into her.
Yeah. So this next part, Lucy was a dumbass.
Yeah.
Because,
what was that?
So you're being stalked. You have people writing messages in lipstick on your walls. You're kind of in danger, and you know it. And what does this dummy do? She goes walking through the park in the middle of the night by herself.
By herself.
Yeah.
We've seen that very park before, too, in Lifetime movies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Murder Park. Villains Park.
Is there a Villains Park Ranger?
I bet there is.
I'm sure there is.
That's not possible. This trail's been closed for 8 years. It's extremely dangerous.
And then you go, that acting is scary.
See, she gave the warning that everyone should have listened to a long time ago. It's extremely dangerous. She was right.
So dumb Lucy is walking through the park at night by herself. Yeah, she's dumb. You're being stalked, and so you go walking through a park by yourself.
Exactly.
In Chicago.
And knowing that you're sort of poking the bear by trying to find out who the abductor might be.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
So then the Black Hoodie shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Lucy is dumb, and I think she's dumb, she redeems herself because he's trying to get her, and she headbutted him.
Yeah. Black Hoodie also said, back off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So then the detective later, yells at her, as well he should have. She should have been yelled at. And then she gets out of the shower, and she's wearing a big, giant towel that looked like a dress. But it was a towel.
Oh, yeah. I thought there was something odd about that.
Have you never seen it like a bath sheet? Like a really big towel like that?
No, but it did look like a dress. Like she could wear that out, right?
Yeah.
I don't have that in my notes here.
Maybe it's a robe.
Yeah, maybe.
So then once again, she's in the mirror and she sees Maggie in the mirror going, help me, help me.
I'd take down that mirror.
Right?
Just Windex it.
So then Lucy's sitting outside writing in her journal, and she gets a call from Dan, Maggie's friend, and she goes to Maggie's building, and Maggie's mother shows up.
Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda. And so she's talking to Zelda, and Zelda's upset, but Zelda is keeping the house up so that when Maggie comes back, her house will be clean and stuff.
Zelda was icy as fuck, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She was pissed.
Oh, and being shady.
Zelda looked a little bit like Deborah Harry.
She did, actually. And Zelda was like, well, and if Maggie was being kidnapped, she wouldn't have been injured because she was a good athlete. And then Zelda starts telling Lucy the story about how Maggie had a stalker in college and how he was kicked out of the dorm because he was harassing Maggie, and Maggie kept journals under her bed. And so Lucy did what I would do. She goes and starts reading the journals. Well, I would do that too.
I thought this was a little weird because the mom let her. The mom told her the journals are there. She wants to go look. And that was fine. But then she's like, put the journals back. You can take some photos if you want. Like, if you really thought that was evidence to help find your daughter, why wouldn't you have turned those over to the detectives?
True. You're right.
Right. But Lucy kept it too. She snuck out with it.
Oh, yeah. I would.
I would have just taken photos.
She gives Zelda her business card, and Zelda looks at it and says, "Nice font."
Yeah.
Right? Zelda was shady. Zelda was watching Capote and the Swans. She was shady.
We should also point out. Oh, go ahead.
And that's like a really deep FU. So rather than just saying FU, it's like this coded, veiled FU.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice spot.
We should point out that in the diary, Magnolia mentions JD, and she brings it up to Zelda. JD, that was the guy that Magnolia had trouble with.
Right.
Dear diary.
So
I hope I don't get kidnapped.
Yes. So
now she's at work again.
Yeah, she goes to Odette, because Odette at this point is like her shoulder to cry on. And then she says that, so the guy's name is JD, and the guy Dan, who is Maggie's friend, who has befriended Lucy, actually they're into each other. His name is Dan, but she says that his name is actually Joshua Daniel. So he's probably the person who was stalking her.
No.
And so then
I don't think it's I think it's Jonathan. Jonathan, because the dad's name is also Jonathan.
That's right.
Because they say that the dad was named Jonathan. So like when he was little and like was around for the dad's campaigns, everyone in the press office referred to him as JD, but the J was like Junior. They called him Junior.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then finally, a smart person on Lifetime.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Because Odette's like, okay, so listen. You got to get out of here, but you either go home and lock yourself in, or you come and stay at my house.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that the line that Odette literally says, "The time for the Nancy Drew shenanigans is over."
Oh, and that too.
Nice.
And that too. So, and actually, I guess I got to be impressed with Lucy, because Lucy then went to Odette's house.
See, she's not that dumb.
Yep.
She went. No, but she was dumb for walking alone.
She was also dumb though, because before she went to Odette, she stopped at her own house alone to get her stuff. Wouldn't you go with somebody to get your stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I call my detective friend to go with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's game.
So then we find out that the cops arrested Dan. So that's basically 2 relationships ruined by turning people in. So she goes to Roy's house. She leaves Odette's and goes to Roy's house. And she talks to Roy.
Yeah, because apparently he's agreed to meet her so she can give his stuff back.
Yeah, which I'm like, this is not the night to do the stuff exchange. This is not the night. Wait till the crime is solved and then go do the stuff exchange.
Oh, and before they start like doing the stuff exchange, they showed a trailer for a new Lifetime movie, and it is a sequel to that movie we watched last year, Single Black Female.
Oh,
What?
I saw this too.
Why are they doing a sequel to that movie?
How could you do a sequel? I thought the black female died.
I don't think she did.
Or there's another roommate.
It wasn't good. And it wasn't really tied to the single white female universe or storyline. It didn't make any sense.
I'm trying to remember the ending. So was the ending then like the female was like in an insane asylum, or did she show up at someone else's house going, "Hi, I'm Janet"?
I forget that it's single black female to someone's revenge. So it's like the Amber Riley characters. I think they're both back. But I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
When did we watch that?
About a year ago.
About a year ago. I remember. So then when Lucy's talking to Roy, she's like, we find out that Roy knew Dan in college. And Lucy's like, well, I seriously think it's strange that you knew Dan, but you didn't know Magnolia.
Well, Roy kind of fucked up because he hadn't really shared that he knew anything, and he had to make a boastful dig at Dan's expense, and that's when Lucy's like, wait, you knew Dan? You never mentioned that. Mm-hmm. Like, he tripped himself up. Yeah.
Then he's running water, and he says he's not able to hear her. He's got the faucet on very loud.
So then Lucy gets a phone call from Zelda. And Zelda's like, so listen, Lucy, I just remembered something. The guy who was harassing the guy who's harassing Lucy, JD, his name was James Dean, and people would call him James Dean because he would wear the stupid red jacket.
Yeah, the red Letterman's jacket.
And yeah. And so then Lucy was like, uh-oh, because she looked in the living room, and who had a red Letterman's jacket? Roy.
Oh, she knew.
Yeah. And then Lucy is like, okay, Lucy went and grabbed her shit, and she's like, okay, I gotta go. And then Roy goes to yell at her, and then Lucy pulls out her big, giant can of mace.
No, I think this was a normal-sized can of mace here. I think it was only giant earlier in the movie.
Oh.
So she maces him, and then
her home mace, and this is like her portable
mace. Yeah, you need a travel mace.
Her travel mace. And then she gets an axe, and she's like, okay.
I wonder if she's got a mace like for airplanes too. It's only like 3 ounces or 6 ounces.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be.
In case somebody bothers her on a plane.
So she gets her axe, and then Roy confesses everything.
This was a little bit of like, like any spy movie when the villain reveals their entire plan. It was like pretty expository.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So then she kicks him in the balls.
Yeah.
So then she runs down to the basement, and Maggie is alive and in the basement. And she's just tied up. And so Maggie starts helping her. So Lucy starts helping Maggie, and then they're going to escape. And then Roy is after them. And then Maggie,
Roy walks before Roy's chasing. Before they get away, like Maggie's like, Lucy's trying to untie Maggie or whatever. Then Roy runs in, and Roy's trying to console Maggie for like basically being put through this nonsense that Lucy's pulling right now.
Like I'm so sorry. This woman crazy. So then Maggie grabs a knife.
Yeah.
And Maggie stabs him.
Yeah.
And then she kicks him down the stairs.
And then the two women held hands.
Yes. Which means it's over. So then the next scene, they were out and like, they're waiting for the ambulance, and Lucy's talking to Maggie, and she's like, well, your mom realized that you were gone, and that's how this started. And then they walk by with a body bag, and I was like, oh, wow, I didn't think that they beat him up enough to kill him.
He fell down the steps and he died.
Oh, they showed him die. They showed the life go out of him. Like he hit the wall.
He hit his head.
He hit the wall. He like breathed for a second, and then you saw his head tilt just a little bit more, and he stopped breathing. Like they showed it on camera.
Because they walked by with a body bag, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
We saw ghosts. We saw ghosts leaving his body. Going up.
Right.
In a red Letterman's jacket.
So then Zelda shows up, and Zelda's happy to see Maggie, and they go away together in the ambulance. And Lucy then decides to make amends to her mom, and so she calls her mom, but her mom doesn't pick up. But then this was a cool part, because even though her mom didn't pick up, then Odette shows up for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, I just came to check to see if you were okay. Let's get you to the hospital. And then then Lucy's like, oh, well, I want to have pizza. And Odette's like, well, you know what? We'll go to the hospital and we'll order pizza and have it delivered to the hospital. And then Maggie then comes up and gives Lucy her card and is like, as a thank you, I want to do an interview with you.
And then Lucy, after she's just been through this harrowing experience, has to help herself into the ambulance so she can go get checked out.
Everybody's loading into the ambulance.
What?
Well, why is she? Everybody's loading into the ambulance.
Well, like Odette was going with Lucy, that made sense. But like nobody helped Lucy into the ambulance, and she's been like beat the fuck up here.
Odette's like, let's not get crazy. I'm not gonna help her.
Well, then she doesn't have to go, and her medical bills are going to be off the charts. Get her if you have to go to the hospital. Get a ride with what's her name? Odette.
Yeah.
Yeah, Odette.
Get a ride with her to the hospital. You're going to be paying a lot for that ambulance.
Yeah.
You don't need an ambulance.
But maybe Odette's like, hey, like we have a pretty good health plan at the Chicago Chronicle. You're good. You can take the ambulance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they do.
Like I feel like Odette has a very healthy flex spend account.
Yes. And Odette, Odette was probably like, okay, and now we have an exclusive. So you're helping me out, so I'll help you out too. Because now we have a full-on exclusive of the whole thing.
And they're getting pizza?
Yeah.
And also, we don't know how Odette got to the house there. Like, maybe Odette Ubered, and she's like, I need a ride anyway, so let's just take the ambulance.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You might as well order a pizza in the hospital. The food you get in the hospital is like some salty stuff. It's like, geez, I guess I'll be staying here.
Right.
So maybe they did make the right choice.
Yep. Don't mess with Odette. See, Odette needs her own movie now.
Absolutely.
I would watch an Odette movie.
Unless you were saying that she could tell me a thing or two. What were we saying?
Who, Odette could tell you a thing or two?
Yeah, you said she could like have her way with me or something.
Yeah, she'd be Pogo sticking all over you.
And you would go there.
You think?
Yes, you would.
Yeah.
No comment.
Yes, you would. But yes, I found this movie very entertaining.
I did too.
It was entertaining.
I think it was a legitimately good thriller.
Yes. So I guess next week we're back to Hallmark. So I got to find a Hallmark one for us to watch. But in the meantime, what were you saying?
Oh no! So there's got to be something to see.
Yep. Oh well, it's Love-uary.
Oh, that is. It's Valentine's Day week. Yeah, they've got to have something.
Okay.
It's Love-uary.
It's Love-uary.
Oh. Okay.
So I'm sure there's going to be plenty for us to watch. Plenty. But in the meantime, if you want to get a hold of me, you can find me on my website, leskirkendallbarrett.com, or on Insta at Kirkendall Jason.
Did you change your Insta handle to something that isn't Kirkendall? It's like Bugle Barrett or something?
No, that's John.
Oh, okay. I saw a photo from... Okay, never mind. So if you want to follow John on Instagram, it's Bugle Barrett.
Let's see what he's up to.
Please, wherever you listen to your podcast, rate and review us. Give us 5 stars. It helps more people find us. You can find all of us on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
Oh, I'm at kurtfitzpatrick.com. I'm doing The Jester of All Maladies, my show. One-person show at the Rogue Festival in Fresno, March 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I just started doing Instagram too. So I'm at Kurt_Fitzpatrick1, number 1. And I'm putting up, I'm doing touring houses in New Jersey. So I just put up a video where I tour a house with of some of the people who live there were obsessed with cats.
So are there like cat pictures and cat
stained glass windows, cat figurines outside? Yes, cat pictures, all kinds.
Are you also on Threads, Kurt? Since you joined Insta?
No.
We should.
Not on TikTok or Threads or any of that. But I just got onto Instagram, so there you go.
Congratulations. And I think I'm going to go to the Rogue Festival the first weekend in March for the sole purpose of tormenting Kurt Fitzpatrick for 3 days.
Oh.
Okay.
My raison d'etre.
Okay.
Yes. You know.
Sounds good.
There's several gay bars in Fresno.
Oh, you've never got me out to that stuff. Not
Fresno. Well, you know, I'll have 3 days. I have to get crafty. I haven't seen you in a couple of years.
Oh, you did pull it off in Indianapolis. You got people to take me to. It wasn't even a gay bar. It was like a gay restaurant.
I had some of my friends take you to a gay brunch.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Don't underestimate my powers, Kurt.
Yeah, I was sneaky.
Anywho, I'm gonna go, and Kurt, oh my gosh, you're gonna get to bed early tonight.
It was a good brunch too. Yeah.
All right, so until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.